Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to talk a little bit. So the last video I made, I was talking about how the month of December is going to be turbulent, I guess, or well, I don't know if that's even the right word. I mean, it would work, but I feel like it gives you, it makes you, or at least it makes me think of like a bad time, you know, like a natural disaster or something like that. Something, you know, like, it's not fun. I don't know. But I think it will be active. There we go. Possibly ups and downs a lot, but what I feel like is it's going to be that for sure, but it's going to be less so for most people. Although emotionally, I think we're all just going to be feeling stuff. So the reason why I'm talking about it is because I can feel it already, and it's just starting. It's just the first day of the month, or the second day. Wait, maybe more than that. But like the 4th? I think now, today, as I'm making this, it is the 4th. Or wait, you know, I can just check. It is the 5th. So apparently it scrambles your brain. But I'm learning, I have like learned a technique that works for me because, since I'm not one of the people that is going to be dealing with some sort of legal cases because of my political career that, you know, affects on some level the whole rest of the country. And maybe that's not just one person that I'm talking about. Like, well, I know people are leaving a lot out of our government in the United States, in the House of Representatives and in Congress. Lots of people are leaving, talking about leaving, like planning to leave already, and also in the other house of Congress, in the Senate, they are also going to be losing a few people for whatever reason. I mean, I guess terms could be ending. I don't think that's so much the case in Congress. I think it's resignations, and there's a number of reasons why that could be. A lot of them could be that sort of they're leaving to spend more time with their family, which translates as something bad happened in my life and I have to get out of sight and quietly deal with it. And it's probably one of those things where the family is not going to be welcoming them to come back home. That's like the feeling I think everyone sort of gets that when that's said about someone leaving before their term is up and they're like they haven't passed. So yeah, there's also, I believe this is the case, that there are a lot of people that have done criminal things that are being offered deals to like talk and say what they know about other fraud and corruption in the current administration. And so they could be like, okay, I'll just go and not blow up the whole like government thing with my personal garbage. Which is not to say that if, you know, they go to trial and are decided to be guilty of stuff, doesn't mean none of that's going to happen. That stuff is absolutely going to happen. And that's another reason why they want to that's part of the reason they want to get out of sight. Or everyone wants them out of sight. Like, no one is supposed to have a problem, is supposed to do things are wrong that are wrong. But boy, do they do that a lot. In the politician community. So it's worrying on a lot of levels, though, because a lot of people are affected by the government in various ways, and people are kind of upset that it's attacking us, because let me specify here. Certainly, there are a plurality of people that don't like the freedom of speech. Let's put it that way. They're like anti-freedom of speech advocates. That particular they, and included among them would be the president. They do not like to hear things said about them if they're not like the best, happiest, most flattering, etc. Otherwise, you are evil and bad and wrong, and you have to be deported. It is not really funny. I shouldn't laugh. Maybe that's nervous anxiety. I don't know. Anyway, what was I saying? It's because of those people, though, that his cabinet is like messing with education in a way that many of the people that have kids that go to the public schools, especially, which have been under attack forever, and especially, it hasn't stopped, they're still doing it. And they want to take they of the cabinet of the current administration, they want to just take resources from all of the public stuff that the people, you and me, you and I, and everybody else, that's not part of the federal or state government, we have need of a lot of these resources, and it's not even that everybody's on welfare or needs the insurance, although everyone's welfare should be it should be in good shape, ideally, and then you want to be able to go to school and not have it bankrupt you for the majority of your life after you spend a significant part of that majority also going to school. It's you don't want to be robbed of the reward after doing all that work, and then to have someone come along and make it extremely expensive or impossible, or changing the atmosphere at the schools to one where it's not a place where young people can leave the nest and sort of learn the reality of education after you've learned all the bull, the BS they tell you in school, in high school and down. I don't know, why not? Whole other ball of wax, but why not just tell you the damn truth in the first place? It's why? That's dumb. Moving on, though. They are just intervening in so many areas that affect so much of the public, and disrupting and destroying and making no more, taking things away that are needed, and you clearly see them in action. They don't even know what they're attacking, really, because they're not, Doge was never doing what they claimed to do. It was always the thing that Elon Musk himself claimed not to be doing, because he's rich. Why would he want to steal the money? So now the money can't be found. Where did it go? If they took it out of the programs and they can't find it anywhere, well, it must have gone somewhere, somebody's pocket or something, is what I'm thinking. And they're not really trying too hard to hide that, which is kind of, I don't know. Infuriating seems like the right word, but I don't want to go there. I don't know. It's not a hypothetical, though, what I'm talking about. And so it's challenging to deal with. And the economy. I'm sure gasoline. And God, I could not even imagine having a car anymore. Just the gas, and then something's always breaking. And where I live, like, you kind of need to have good windshield wipers and also Rain-X to, like, help further repel the rain from your windshield. It's like insurance, or like, where are you gonna park it? Like, oh God, I used to work in Santa Monica, California, and you had better know somebody with a driveway unless you want to be paying to park. And it was like, this was in like the 1990s, so it's kind of always been that way. I'm sure it's worse now. I'm sure never mind. I don't even want to speculate on that because I don't care. But back to the point, is there's a lot to become kind of whipped up about, and understandably, and then you got whatever's going on in your personal life. And so today, or yesterday now, there was this big, very near proximity to Earth full moon. And there are a number of things affecting us all, on top of what I'm talking about, what I have talked about. But what I have talked about before, and it's like coming from space, and it's like astrology and astronomy, and there's just a lot of things sort of bombarding the planet that we are being affected by. and in a way that's kind of different from the past, or at least it is to me now, because I know there's always been talk about, like, the fear of what, like, gamma rays coming from space are doing to you. And certainly there could be harm, but it's not like you're in an MRI tube and that's what's blasting you in that confined space. This is dispersed, and it also, it's just not that strong once it finally makes it to us. There could be areas or times where it's more intense, but generally it's not giving us, like radiation poisoning or cancer or something like that. And a lot of it is actually, like, beneficial to us, especially now, because it is affecting our biology and definitely our mental state. So it's just like, I find myself having to, and this is good, this is what I wish I had done many, many, many years ago, but I just didn't have the discipline, which I still don't have, which is why it's taken so long. But finally applying what I have learned, like, over forever, about how to calm myself, because I do have, like, a sort of chihuahua living inside my temperament, and it gets all excited, and it's no one wants that. So I mean, just no one wants to feel crazy and frazzled, and I've just been having to make, like, constant adjustments, and then there's just your regular old everyday life, and as many of us who are online know, it can be very triggering. People can just come out of nowhere and say something that either is an attack or feels like an attack, and then it's up to you to, like, is it gonna send you over the edge? Are you gonna get like angry? Is it gonna just like make you like emotionally crazy? You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know, like just if it affects the gamut of emotions and like sort of like commandments that you don't want to violate. And it is an exercise of, for me, it's turning into an exercise of control, but also a tuning mechanism, because I've gone through some stages where I'm like, block, 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 block. But it's not just me. Everyone is doing it, I guess. Or a lot of people are, because a lot of people are also talking about it. But there are things that come up and it's like, damn, there are pornography sites. Why are you in my feed? All kinds of stuff that, go for it, good for you, I don't care, I don't want to see it. That is not, again, go to a pornography site. So, you know, first I was just on block, block, block. I was like, Jesus, it's just started to feel like murder. It just started to feel like I was just executing people. And they didn't know. Like, I didn't, like, get in there on their post that was making me want to block them in the first place and go, I don't want to see this. Block. Like, I'm not telling them. I'm just doing it. But it just got to feel like, again, like I was dispatching people, and it just didn't feel good. So I'm like, let me work on that. So I already know that I'm talking about Blue Sky here. So I already know I don't like the mute button or setting. If I had my druthers, which you don't, because you don't have any control or often knowledge that it's going to happen to you before it actually happens. I just know that there have been people that I was able to see, that I was happy seeing and enjoying the content, and then all of a sudden they're gone, and I can see them if I take the time and trouble to go over and look, and it's like, you just cut me off, dick. like never mind. Oh, thank you. Never mind. And so the cleaner final solution for me is blocking. But as I said, we're back to how it was making me feel to block all the time. So they also have on Blue Sky a hide the post thing you can click on, and I've been doing that a lot, and that has actually been making me feel a lot better, because then I feel like I'm not. Again, these people do not know that I'm doing it. They probably don't even notice. Just my own thing that I'm going through. But I noticed that in some cases I'm still just like, I can't deal and am blocking people, but it's not just like wholesale slaughter like it was. And it's massively decreased. And I feel so much better having made the decision to stop dispatching accounts and people, and you know what I'm saying? It just made me feel better. So I'm like, yes, let's go with that. So then I still am dealing with the need to get rid of people for whatever reason. And that's just a very concise and perhaps cruel way of putting it, but like, I just have reached a point in my life where it's something you can't do IRL without like pushback or just plain trouble or other things you don't want. On the thing where nobody knows that it's you doing it and doesn't see it coming, you can hide that post, you know, and the thing that was bothering you, you can, like, out of sight, out of mind, and that's good enough. Like, in most cases, and, you know, if that's something I can do over and over and feel fine about, you know, like, maybe it's like babysitting a relative child, and you have had about enough of their presence, and you're like, go somewhere else and do other things away from my sight and hearing, but not so far that you're in danger. That is my caveat for viewers here, but do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's just like, you need a minute or else. Maybe that was a too revealing analogy. Shut up, I'm just playing. But sort of not. But I've been feeling better about the way that I've been dealing with it, and it's not IRL, but it is like practice, I feel like, for dealing with people that maybe I could extend into reality when the need arises, because sometimes it does, and sometimes when you run into friction with other people, it can be dealt with easily and painlessly, and other times it requires more of you, of the variety of behavior that I would rather not indulge in. Like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to, like, I don't know you. I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go places with you. Like, I just want smooth sailing, okay? But that doesn't always work out. Like, sometimes people just decide that you're the person's boat they want to rock, and just, your friendly neighborhood drive-by test of your patience. And that's life. But in a lot of ways, the internet, like, while it's being the internet and having people that want to, verbally spar with you, it is practice, and it's in a way that you can't do in real life, like, you can't really mute or block people or whatever. They're just more present than the idea of them online. So it's like a whole different interface. And I don't have problems with people. I don't even... I know that this is going to sound strange considering what I'm saying, but I don't have people around me, so I'm not, like, arguing all the time. I guess it's because I have this inner dialogue going on, and that is, I'm going to say, I'm not going to lie, is argumentative. I get tired of arguing with myself all the time. So having said all of that, I imagine everyone that is watching this has a whole bunch of stuff going on with themselves too. And the reason why I'm just sharing all of this is because it's not insurmountable, but it's better if you don't let things get to you. The way that I am trying to break myself of always having been. Okay. I want you to check out my signs there. My sort of disclaimer vision. And I have a couple of cards from the Declarations of Mary Magdalene deck. And straighten out there. And so the first one is number 49. And it reads, "Seek freedom that is not bound to churches that rule the world." Sounds good to me. The minds of the people and their pocketbooks. Oh, those are commas, sorry. Let me just read that again. Seek freedom that is not bound to churches that rule the world, the minds of the people, and their pocketbooks. That is so funny. That this card, I just pulled it like before I started recording, which is not what I normally do. Normally I would have pulled it like yesterday or something. But yeah, this is a fresh pull. And it's funny because I was watching before I started doing this to kind of get away from the normal politics stuff. Somehow I got in rabbit hole land because I looked at one thing about how it was so funny. It was this whole video that this guy made, and then part of the way through I realized that he's like a religious guy. But the title was talking about how Eyes Wide Shut is the Epstein situation, or very similar to, and I was like, truth, you got that right. But it's not the only one, because also, like yesterday, the 50 Cent video on P. Diddy came out, and he has had, there's a lot of people telling stories about having attended his shindigs, and it has like a lot of the same things that the other two have in common, that movie and like Jeffrey Epstein. But those are not the only, things that are like sort of in the zeitgeist and the lexicon and everything. Is our president is also very well acquainted with both of those men for those really like skanky reasons, according to a bunch of narratives, which I'm sorry, I mean, I believe them because there's too much evidence supporting similarly elsewhere. It's like, it's not, anyway, it's ancient. And also, I don't know why I'm giggling about it. It's not at all funny. I don't know why I do that. Please excuse me, because this is not at all funny. But it is funny if it's all gonna be out in the open. That I like enough getting away with this crap. So, the other card I pulled. Oh, actually, let me do the angel number on this real quick. So, 49. Let's just see what it says. I wish my laptop still worked. I had this just on there and I could just pick it on the drop down. Nope. What am I writing? I'm not even writing the right name. There it is. Okay. I was looking for Joanne angel numbers, where you can find numerology too. Hey, why are you blinking out? Oh my god, it's an ad. Where's the X? Sorry, Best Buy. Not interested. I'm not gonna be doing Christmas. Okay, so calm down. Okay, number 49. Double digits. What? What the shit? Get out of here, man. Who's this guy? Oh, there it is. Oh, God, it's another ad. This is terrible. Get out of the way. No, I don't want to open that. Go away. This is so terrible. What the shit is happening? Sorry, let me try that again. My other phone has been acting very strangely too. Okay. Let's try this again. Number 49. Well, could you make it smaller? Number 49 is comprised of the vibrations of the number 4 and the number 9. Number 4 contributes the values of worthiness, endurance, dignity, and trust, working steadily towards achieving success, practicality, and determination, and our passion and drive in life. Ooh, that was a long sentence. Number 9 carries the attributes of endings and conclusions, inner strength, and inner wisdom, selflessness and philanthropy, the universal spirit laws, leading by positive example, karma, spiritual enlightenment and awakening, light working, and your divine light, purpose, and soul mission. Well, that about covers everything. Thank you and good night. Wow, okay. So, that was for the first card where I was talking about the card says, seek freedom that is not bound to churches that rule the world, the minds of the people, and their pocketbooks. So, churches. So I guess all of those attributes it talks about are the things that would give you strength in the face of this world where a lot of people belong to, if not religious churches, churches of other, forms of belief that they're completely rigid about, or you're like trapped in because that's what your family was doing, and well, we know how lives and families go. What they say goes, and sometimes they are into some weird shit. Oh, don't go dark. Okay, so this one says, Thou shalt not know thy divine self when thou let thyself be detained in the false perception of materialism. The Church of Materialism, and which is funny because like a couple of pastors for these sort of, I don't know what kind of religion they're practicing in there actually, because the clips all show like these pastors shilling for money to buy private planes and expensive watches and fancy buildings for their mega churches. That's pretty materialistic, and boy, that is against Christianity, that's for sure. Or no, take it back, it's not against Christianity, but it's against Christ's teachings. How about that? So, yeah, the materialism is like an addiction in our lives. Like, I remember, I guess I don't really want to relate that. That's about someone close, like really close to me, so shutting up. But we do start to care more about some dumb labelware or accessory than like living within our means or reality. And it's great because I always have felt that way. And then also this year in China, where they have factories where these designer labels were having their products assembled and built and sewn and whatever, and then somebody at one of the factories for some reason decided to blow their whistle on these like I can't remember which ones, but they were like big name ones that and that their stuff was just cheap and made in China and not like handmade in Italy or whatever the fable is about the stuff. And that's the thing about like the materialism. Like, I was online talking to somebody this morning about polyester. For some reason, it was the word of the day or something. And I said, oh, polyester. Like, I still, like, 20 years later, have a bad feeling about the polyester uniform that I had to wear at Kmart, where I was in the hot kitchen all the time. Although, even before that, like in the 1970s, there was a lot of polyester, and it was bad. It was hot, it was too thick, it didn't breathe. Just like the uniform I'd been talking about, they still hadn't worked that out. But what they do now with the polyester, they figured out how to make it soft. Or else they are... whatever. They figured out how to make it soft, because I've specifically ordered something cotton that said it was cotton, and then received it, and it's polyester. Feels like cotton, looks like cotton, but the label says what it really is. But they figured out something, because they figured out how to make it breathe. So I don't feel good about having it on my skin, but it is very difficult to escape it and stay within my budget. Like, I would love to just buy bamboo fiber or whatever, or hemp. They're expensive. I don't think I even own a sock of either material. Again, because I don't really care about it that much. I mean, whatever. If it's not your clothing rubbing against you, giving you some kind of foma, cancer, lymphoma, skin foma, whatever, carcinoma, it's something else somewhere. The tea bag. Tea bags are often, I just found out, made of polyester. Luckily, I don't use tea bags very often, and I won't be using them anymore because I have a little tea ball thing you dunk in the cup or whatever. So that's a good thing. But it is the pursuit of money to turn around and spend it on more crap that gets you in a place where products are not what they're advertised and comprised or composed of things that are not good for you to have such, so be so intimate with. Like, just wear them. And why not, like, use the real thing that doesn't hurt people or whatever? Because it's cheaper to use this other thing. I don't know if I want, like, I want to deal with recycling, but I'm not sure if I want to wear a shirt that's made out of shredded pop bottles. I mean, I have, but is it okay to wear that? I don't know. I kind of feel like it's not. I don't know. Maybe we'll work our way out of that. So those are just kind of a couple of interesting perspectives the cards gave me to think about and talk about. Like, I kind of like those for that. Well, I guess I like them all of the cards for that reason. But I have a particular crush on these. Anyway, I think I'm done. Thank you and good night. It's gonna be okay. This month's probably gonna throw us for some loops. But you can do it.